Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about different ways to steep your tea. Now, before we begin, I highly recommend you check out our playlist Tea 101 where we talk about the basics of tea. Let's get started. So, I think a lot of people drink their tea in tea bags. I mean, the large majority of Americans get their tea from sachets or tea bags, and certainly they're convenient. This is how they were created. We'll do a history of tea later in the future, but through most of tea history, which is about 5,000 years, loose leaf tea is how humans drank that tea, the Camellia sinensis plant. And it was only recently, about 120 years ago, that tea bags were invented. And I've talked about in previous episodes how tea bags, although convenient, typically have inferior tea, and they really work against how you want tea to be sensed and how you want tea to be fully optimized. And we have an episode here, how to optimize your tea experience. So we're going to divide this episode into two. One will be how to steep your tea at home, and then some great carry-out options that we have. And today, certainly, we have a lot of different ways you can steep your tea and different ways you can infuse your tea. So we're going to go first with some of the traditional ways, and then some of the more like easier infuser ways, and then we'll talk about to go. So personally, I think I've shown you, if not I haven't, let me show it to you. I use a Kyusu. A Kyusu is a clay, traditional Japanese clay pot. And what it is, it fits normally about a cup. Like I just did this rose hip. I'm drinking rose hip right now, and I like to drink or in glass because I like to look at the color, the liqueur of the tea. And on occasion, we sell rose hip seasonally. Just check the catalog. But one of the reasons I like the Kyusu is because you can throw in the leaves here in the top, and it gives it space for them to grow. And this is going to be a common motif you're going to hear. So you throw in the leaves, teaspoons, a standard serving, and then you're going to pour in the water, and then you close it, and then after you're steeping it, whatever, 3-4 minutes, depending what it is, you can grab this handle, and I grab the top. You can do it really one hand and just pour it into your cup. And I just like the feel of it, the texture, just the history of it. The other thing that that's what I typically use. I also have a Chinese Goan. And this is another thing you can do at home. You open it up, it's just like a teapot. You throw in your loose leaf tea, you pour it in there, you cover it, and then you wait a certain amount of time. And then when you're ready to drink it, you can hold it and then pour it into another container, whether it be a traditional Chinese small cup, because the Asians typically drink from smaller cups than we do. They don't do the super mugs, the coffee mugs we do. Then you can pour it in. I like the look of the Goan, the porcelain. I think they're very beautiful. I just, in terms of like efficiency and in terms of just quick serving, I find it difficult to hold it where the leaves, especially if I'm doing like like a small leaf, like a Japanese tea, the leaves are going to pour through and it can be kind of a mess. But I do like the look of it. The other thing you can do is you can use a yiqing. A yiqing, and I don't have one currently here. A yiqing is a traditional Chinese kettle, and similar to the Kyusu, but you get to hold it from the top with the handle on the side, I should say, and you pour and you hold the top, and it's the same thing. It's just, I like to be in touch with the history of tea. That being said, and look, the Koreans have their own teapots, the Indians as well have their own, but these are like kind of the standard ones. Now, not everyone's like that. Some people like the convenience of other things. So certainly we have infusers. So one thing sometimes I do is I use this infuser right here. It fits perfectly on top of this mug. I'll put the leaves in here, pour the hot water, move it around, whatever, 3 minutes, and then tip it and put it away on the sink or something like that. I put all my tea leaves after I look at them and smell them, go to the episode on Optimize Your Tea Experience. I eventually put them in compost. But this is very fast, very effective, and now you can drink it from whatever mug that you have. And, we have a variety of mugs that you can drink. So these kind of infusers, very popular. The other infuser you can do is, and I think this is not as good quality, are the ball infusers. This is the same concept, right? You can put the tea in here, and then you can close it and then dangle it into a cup. Now, the reason I don't like these, even though they're convenient, is because it is exceedingly crucial to allow your leaves to breathe, so to speak. So you want to use a container that allows the leaves not to be confined, like Dirty Dancing. Don't put baby in a corner. It needs to be unfurl. Let those leaves go out. And I can show you tons of before and after. If you look at leaves before they're steeped and look at them after they're steeped, and they're just beautiful. I think the best case in point would be oolongs. Oolongs are so tightly rolled, and then just the beauty of seeing them roll out. And they can't. They're shoved in there. This is the same problem with sachets or tea bags, is they're confined too much. And that's the beauty of a kyushu. That's the beauty of a yixing. That's the beauty of a gawan, is that it allows the tea to breathe. And that's really what you want, ideally. Now, some people like to use like a French press. Look, if you like coffee, or if you have a French press at home, you can certainly use a French press. You put the leaves in and you put the water, you push the tea leaves down and then pour it out. You can do that. That's totally fine. Now, another thing you can do is the classic kettle here. Now, this kettle I do like because it has a temperature setting on it, so I can, and again, we just talked about recently how the temperature settings on how to boil your water for particular tea is not exact science. You want to play around with it. This one does allow me to screw in a infuser, and so I can screw a long one in there. That's possible. You can do that. I don't like to do that for a reason I'm about to explain. Another one is my beloved wife, Casey, likes to use a glass kettle with an infuser. Same thing here, right? You pour the leaves, you pour it in, and then you fill it up, and then you go from there. Now, I particularly don't like putting leaves in these kettles because I believe that, well, just for pragmatic reasons, I don't want to be cleaning these kettles more. And if I'm putting the leaves in there, you're going to have to clean them more because, of course, the tea is going to diffuse out. Whether you're doing rose hip, or whether you're doing hojicha, or whether you're doing a first flush Darjeeling, or whatever it is going to stain it. Now, of course, you can clean them. It's not really a big deal. I'm just more of a purist where I like to use these just to boil the water. I like to use filtered water, which we'll talk about in a future episode. And then I like to use my traditional pots and to put the actual leaves in so they can stir around. The other problem, the other limitation with these, of course, is the tea can't unfurl, it can't breathe. I mean, this is certainly better than the ball diffuser, but again, I like to see the leaves, I like to look at the leaves, I like to breathe in the leaves, and these can confine them. Now, for to go, you have a couple of options. Let me drink this tea while it's still warm. My beloved wife gave me this. I can't remember why she gave it. It was not my birthday. But she gave me this. This is a great to-go container. Look, it's got an infuser here too. I could put leaves in there, put it in there, screw it in, pour the water, and it's good. This is great. I particularly don't like these stainless steel kind of Yeti containers because it keeps, and its purpose is to keep the tea very hot. But when I try to drink it, it's just too hot for me. So I'm a weirdo, and what I'll do is I'll bring it like a mug in the car that fits in the car, in the where you put cup holders. Put it there. I'll steep it for 3-4 minutes or whatever it is. Then I'll pull it out, do that, put it on this side, and then pour this into the mug so I can drink it in a mug. I know I'm weird. It's just weird. You know, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. And look, there's other options that you have. I would tell you in closing, if you're drinking from home, the number one criteria is letting the leaves have space. So however you do it, that's fine. I would tell you to get a kyushu or a yixing or a gawan or whatever that allows you to put in loose leaf tea, preferably our loose leaf tea, and then put in the just allows the leaves to go, because you're going to get better re-steepage, which we'll talk about in future episodes, and just a better taste. And instead of them being confined like Baby and Dirty Dancing, you really don't want to use these. You really don't want to be using things like that. So that should be your number one criteria. And then for to go, you know, it's really up to you. There's really nothing wrong with these kind of infusers. They'll keep your tea warm a long time. I'm just a little weird and neurotic about how I like to pour it out and stuff like that. So guys, that's what I got today. Post in the comments. How do you like to drink your tea at home or on the road? I would love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.